Good morning and welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, La Crescenta, where it's our dream to help you build and manifest your dreams. Today, assisting us are our pianist, Cecilia Sellis, our practitioner in training, Susan Zollinger, our musicians, Mandy and David, and we are so blessed to have you here with us today. And I want to thank you, those of you who are sending in tithes and offerings. This is really helpful during these times when we are not meeting in person.
Hey everyone.
Such a feeling's coming over me. There is wonder in most everything I see. Not a cloud in the sky's got the sun in my eyes, and I won't be surprised if it's a dream. Everything I want the world to be is now coming true, especially for me. And the reason is clear, it's because you are near. You're the closest thing to happiness I've seen. I'm on the top of the world looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I found ever since you've been around. Yours put me at the top of the world. Something in the winter's learned my name, and it's telling me that things are not the same. In the leaves on the trees and the touch of the breeze, there's a pleasing sense of happiness for me. There is only one wish on my mind. When this day is through, I hope that I will find that tomorrow will be just the same for you and me. All I need will be mine if you are here. I'm on the top of the world looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I found ever since you've been around. Yours put me at the top of the world. I'm on the top of the world looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I found ever since you've been around. Yours put me at the top of the world.
And now it is the time for our affirmative prayer. So I would like you all to relax. Take a nice deep breath. Breathe in that life. Breathe in the love of God. And as you exhale, release any negativity, release any tension in your body. And take another nice, relaxing, deep breath. Breathe in and breathe out. And let's do that one more time. Let's take a nice deep breath into that heart space where God resides within each one of us. And let's breathe out and relax and just listen to that beautiful beating of our heart. Let's listen to the sound of our breath coming into our body, nourishing our blood with new oxygen, circulating that blood with the beating of our heart all throughout our body. So our body gets the nourishment, it gets everything that it needs. And we don't have to think about that. That is the beauty of who we are. We are the perfection of God expressing right here, right now. As children of God, We have all that we need within us. God has made us perfect in His likeness and image. And in this place, this sacred place, in this beautiful moment, in this beautiful, beautiful day, today we are granted another day of life, another day to live in wonder and amazement at the beauty of this marvelous earth, this place that we chose to be in the right here and the right now. And as we commune together, we are all together in spirit, all together in the one, that great I am, the creator of all that is. And in this moment, we are one with each other, one with the love and the light that created us. And how beautiful that is. While we may, in this time-space reality, appear that we are separate from each other, you are there, I am here, but within spirit, within this beautiful, magnificent world where we live, we are all one together. We are one in this light. We are one in this love. We are one in the peace that passeth all understanding, and that is spirit. And in this wonderful moment where we all share together, we know that God is there, providing all our support, giving us wonderful, radiant health, backing us up with prosperity and the richness of life as we enjoy the beauty, as we appreciate our senses, our sight, so that we can observe all that there is to be in wonder of, and our hearing, so that we can communicate with each other, so that we can also hear the community of birds and nature and the wind and the trees and all that is lovely on this earth. And we have our mouths that can taste and talk and say loving words to one another as we flow with life's goodness, and this flow comes out in words that benefit, that nourish, that support each and every one of us. And we have that wondrous gift of smell. Oh, that is so wonderful. That is part of our tasting. That is part of the interesting energy of this world, because there are wonderful smells and there are some not so wonderful smells, but it's good that we know that our olfactory sense is working and giving us clues to what is happening in this outside world. And we so appreciate our gift of touch, because that tells us the hot, it tells us the cold, it tells us when our loved one wants to hold our hand, when we feel the love of a hug of someone that is dear to us. And it allows us to reach out and touch each other, just to let each other know that we're there for them. We're there to support and love and be there for each other. Because that is God expressing through us. That is the God within us recognizing the God that is within you. And we can reach out and touch. And when we can't meet in such a manner, we know that we can touch each other with our eyes, we can touch each other with our smiles, we can wave, and we can greet each other with loving words. And it's marvelous. and it's wonderful. And for this, I am so grateful. So with all this beauty in our life, and as we appreciate each and every wonderful thing that comes into our life, we know in appreciation and in gratitude, God rewards us by bringing more wonderful, marvelous experiences into our life so that we can expand, so that we can learn, so that we can grow more in love, deeper in peace, and that we can share with each and every one of us. We can recognize that God within them. That is the same God within us. And all the good that we desire for ourselves, we desire for our fellow humans. So knowing the beauty, the goodness, the love of God in our lives, showing up in all its wonderful and marvelous ways, we can just release these words into that divine law of creative mind with such a grateful and confident heart, knowing the power of our words in the here and the now. And let us all affirm together, and so it is. Now please join me in singing, and so it is. God is all there is. I am one with the Spirit. I realize the truth, and I speak it. I am thankful for it all. I release it. I let it go. And so it is. And so it is. I know it is. And I receive as I believe. Amen. 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 It's now time for the reading from our Science of Mind textbook by Ernest Holmes. And today's reading on page 478 is on what else could it be but love. And this is taken from John 13:34 and verse 35. Love is the central flame of the universe, nay, the very fire itself. It is written that God is love, and that we are his expressed likeness, the image of the eternal being. Love is self-givingness through creation, the impartation of the divine through the human. Love is an essence, an atmosphere, which defies analysis, as does life itself. It is that which is and cannot be explained. It is common to all people, to all animal life, and evident in the response of plants to those who love them. Love reigns supreme over all. The essence of love, while elusive, pervades everything, fires the heart, stimulates the emotions, renews the soul, and proclaims the spirit. Only love knows love, and only love knows only love. Words cannot express its depths or meaning. A universal sense alone bears witness to the divine fact. God is love, and love is God. And so it is.
Well, here's a song by George Harrison. It's kind of about new beginnings, called All Things Must Pass. Sunrise doesn't last all morning. The cloudburst doesn't last all day. Seems my love is up and left you with no warning. It's not always gonna be this great. All things must pass. All things must pass away. Sunset doesn't last all evening. A mind can blow those clouds away. After all this, my love is up and must be leaving. It's not always gonna be this great. All things must pass. All things must pass away. All things must pass. None of life's streams can last, so I must be on my way to face another day. Now the darkness only stays at night time. In the morning it will fade away. Daylight is good at arriving at the right time. It's not always gonna be this way. All things must pass. All things must pass away. All things must pass. All things must pass away.
Today, most of our lesson will be coming from Teach Only Love by Gerald Jampolsky. He is a psychiatrist and a medical doctor. And this book is 21 years old, but as appropriate today as it was when he wrote it. I was fortunate to see him in person. Now, he has the 12 principles of attitudinal healing. And our topic today is Be Who You Are, Love. And you will understand that better as I share these principles with you. The essence of our being is love. Now take that into your thinking for just a moment. The essence, we were created in love by God, the Father, Mother, God. The essence of our being is love. Love cannot be hindered by what is merely physical. Therefore, we believe the mind has no limits, nothing is impossible, and all disease is potentially reversible. all disease is potentially reversible. And because love is eternal, death need not be viewed fearfully. I think many of us have had experiences where our loved ones have passed on, but have been able to give us messages even though they are on the other side of the veil. This is a really important one. Health is inner peace. Healing is letting go of fear. To make changing the body our goal is to fail to recognize that our single goal is peace of mind. I'm going to read that again. To make changing the body our goal is to fail to recognize that our single goal is peace of mind. Giving and receiving are the same. When our attention is on giving and joining with others, fear is removed, and we accept healing for ourselves. We've seen so much of that during this pandemic, so many people helping one another. We can let go of the past and the future. And again, in our teaching, my friends, live in present time. Be right here now present. We experience inner peace when we let go of our attachments to the painful past and the fearful future and learn to live in the present. And I have to tell you, I am still working on that because often I will return to a memory that was painful and I rerun it. But I believe I have a file clerk in my brain, and so if I rerun it too many times, I just tell that file clerk to eliminate that, to delete it. So we can let go of the past and the future and live in present time. And there are those who say there are no accidents in present time. When we are paying attention, there are no accidents. And I have to say, the times that I've had accidents, car or otherwise, bumping into something, it's because I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't in present time. Now is the only time there is. Now is the only time there is. Pain, grief, depression, guilt, and other forms of fear disappear when the mind is focused in loving peace on this instant. Pain, grief, depression, guilt, and other forms of fear disappear when the mind is focused in loving peace on this instant. We learn to love ourselves and others by forgiving rather than judging. This is a biggie. We've talked about this many times. We learn to love ourselves and others by forgiving rather than judging. Forgiveness is the way to true health and happiness. When we choose to see everyone as a teacher of forgiveness, each moment gives us an opportunity for happiness, peace, and love. Number 7, we can become love finders rather than fault finders. Regardless of what another person's behavior might be, we can always choose to see only the light of love in that person. And many times it's difficult. I've had many people in my life, and somewhere in the Bible it tells us if there's something that defiles, cut it out. And we do know that sometimes we have to release people in our lives. We release them and love them to their highest and best good. We can be peaceful inside regardless of what is happening outside. That makes it really difficult, doesn't it? Because when we see things turmoiling around us, it's really difficult to be peaceful. But I'm going to read that again. We can be peaceful inside regardless of what is happening outside. Despite the chaos in our lives, we can choose to be peaceful. knowing that we are connected and sustained by our loving, peaceful God source. Now, remember, our greatest power is our power to choose. We are students, this is an interesting one, we are students and teachers to each other. Peace comes to us when we recognize and demonstrate that all our relationships are equal. We are students and teachers to each other. We can focus on the whole of our lives rather than on the fragments. I'm going to read that one more time. We can focus on the whole of our lives rather than on the fragments. It is an illusion to believe that our lives are separate from each other. We are all one. We are all interconnected. Healing is focusing on our interconnectedness with each other and all living things. Plants, animals, humans, we are all one with one another. Because love is eternal, death need not be viewed as fearful. We begin to let go of our fear of death when we truly believe that what is real never changes and that love is always present. It's not really easy to let go of those we love when they cross over, when they cross the veil to the other side. Recently in our family, we lost a young girl who was 9 years old, and she had had brain surgery, a brain tumor, since she was 5 years old. She struggled with surgeries and those kinds of things, and even though it was difficult to let this child go, it was for her highest and best good. But she left this side of the veil knowing that she was loved. Our practitioners were praying for her, and now they're praying for her family. So love is eternal. Love is eternal. And I want to just share something with you because it works for me. Often when I see someone who looks like someone who's crossed over, I believe that that individual is sending me a message that everything is going to be okay. I often see someone who looks like my mother or my grandmother or someone who I dearly loved who's crossed over. We can always see ourselves and others as extending love or giving a call for help. Rather than seeing anger and attack, it is always possible for us to recognize a call for help and to answer with love. Rather than seeing anger and attack, it is always possible for us to recognize a call for help and to answer with love. Again, that's not always an easy quest. Now, these are the 12 principles of attitudinal healing, and I encourage you, this is an old book, but it's a timeless book. I encourage you to get it because we have healing centers all over the world, attitudinal healing centers everywhere in the world, and John Polsky and his wife, they're both doctors, Diane Cirencioni. They travel all over speaking and presenting these principles. Now, when we look at these and when we understand that God is love, we were created in love, and all is love, this is how we look at the world. We look at the world in love. And sometimes I have to shake my head in disbelief with all of the political things that are going on, but I stand back and I observe. I observe and pray for the highest and best outcome in every given situation. Although I do know those who really get angry and they really get contentious if someone isn't on their side of the aisle. But let's don't join that crowd. Let's just know that God knows what God's doing, and in the end, everything will be peaceful. And it will be peaceful because we join the peaceful side of the aisle. This is a woman who wrote him, And she said she felt the principles might be a little too complex for children to understand. She then rewrote the principles, and several months before she died, the center began to use her adaptations. And for children, I'll just go through these really quickly, but if you have children, it's good to look at these as well. Love is one of the most important things in life. It is important to get better, so we must not let fear trap us. Giving and receiving are the same thing. Don't live in the past and don't live in the future. Live in present time. Do what you can now. Each minute is for giving love. We can learn to love ourselves and others by forgiving instead of not forgetting. Example, fighting. And that's why she put it in for kids. Example, fighting. We can learn to love ourselves. It's so important that we love ourselves. We can't extend love to anyone, my friends, unless we love us. We can find love instead of fault. If something is the matter outside, don't go crazy because you are safe inside. We are students and teachers to each other. Don't just look at the bad things, look at the good things too. Since love is eternal, death need not be scary. We can always see other people as giving love or asking for help. So remember, you were created in love. You are love. Be who you are, love. And when there are situations in your life, circumstances that really concern you, then put your hand on your heart, close your eyes, and say, Father, Mother, God, guide and direct me in releasing these feelings that are causing me a great deal of concern. And when we ask the Holy Spirit to help us, believe me, my friends, it happens. Jesus said, ask and ye shall receive. Knock and the door will be open. And it always is. Look to Father, Mother, God for all your answers, for everything. And believe me, it happens. And so ends our lesson.
It's time now to join together and say our offertory affirmation. And I would just like to thank each and every one of you who have been sending in your checks or giving us contributions via PayPal. And it's just a wonderful thing to see all your names, even though we're not seeing your faces, and know that you are thinking of us and keeping the lights on and helping us in any way that you can. And for this, we are truly, truly grateful. So please join me in saying that offertory affirmation. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of this spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Please join me in singing our offertory song, I Am So Blessed. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so thankful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so thankful, I am so blessed. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so thankful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so thankful, I am am so blessed.
Good morning, and thanks for joining us. It's time for the Sunday Funny. After 35 years of marriage, a husband and wife came in for counseling. When asked what the problem was, the husband went into a passionate, painful tirade, listing every problem they had ever had during the years they had been married. On and on and on. Neglect, lack of intimacy, emptiness, loneliness, feeling unloved and unlovable, an entire laundry list of unmet needs that he had endured. Finally, after allowing this for a sufficient length of time, the therapist got up, walked around the desk, and after asking the man to stand, she embraced him, kissed him long and passionately as the wife looked on. The man shut up and sat down quietly, though in a daze. The therapist turned to the wife and said, "This is what your husband needs, at least 3 times a week. Do you think you can see to that?" The wife said, "I can drop him off here on Mondays and Wednesdays, but on Fridays I have book club." Good morning.
And now our benediction. Please repeat after me. These are going to be your words. Put your hand on your heart, close your eyes for that God connection, and say these words. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It's happening through my mind, my body, and every aspect of my life. I think it. I know it. I believe it. I accept it. I'm never alone, for God is right where I am, and so it is.
Now please join me in singing the peace song, Let There Be Peace on Earth. Let there be peace on earth, now it has begun with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Peace has begun with me, so this is the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternal.